I went to get ready this morning, and I truly was like, I don't know what to do with my hands. I was like, help. And you'll see my hands are covered in henna, so.
Oh, they are.
They sure are.
Nice. Do they mean anything, or you just grab a bunch of pretty designs?
No, I asked for a celestial design.
Okay.
I wanted something. Everyone else was doing flowers, floral, so I had to be different.
Yeah, you did. You did. You different. You are.
Something delicate.
Nice.
But it got a little.
Hey,
Why am
Jacob,
I
are you
echoing
on
in my
over there?
ear? This is hurting
It's not
me.
echoing. Somebody's playing the show.
Okay.
Somebody's volume is on. All right, it's gone now.
Oh, are we back? We're
they
so
say
back.
they say freckles are cosmic dust, so it makes sense for you to
I'll
get
show
the.
when we're on camera, but my freckles blend so
Yeah.
perfectly in with the little star moon pattern going up my wrist. But yeah, no, it feels odd. Coming back to Memphis felt odd. I was basically a Utah resident for
we
a
know.
week and some change.
Oh, we know. We know.
I live there now.
When you landed, were you able to get alcohol?
I had plenty in Park City, let me be perfectly clear. I was hit with that beautiful thick air.
Oh, nothing,
Memphis,
nothing like
Tennessee.
leaving Memphis and then coming back
Especially
and just
to
walking
Utah.
out into the air.
Utah is so dry. My lips are chapped, my feet are crackly. I would start trying to speak and my words would get like choked up, caught in my throat because it was just so dry. I could drink 3 water bottles and then need another 3. I didn't even feel like I got a buzz at the wedding because you're just like incapable of having any hydration hit inside of you.
Well, we got back last year from our vacation. We didn't land in Memphis, but Atlanta is the same thing.
Yes.
We landed in Atlanta after existing without air conditioning and walking miles without sweating, landed in Atlanta and just got sucker punched by the heat and the humidity. It
Sucker
was
punched is the appropriate
awful.
terminology.
You think you know it's coming, and then when it hits you, it's so much worse than what you initially thought that it was. Hadn't had a chance to ask this in a long time. What was the song?
The song was, I always forget the name of it, The Hole of the Moon, which is by the Water Boys. And it's in a couple TV shows and movies, but I enjoy the song.
Okay.
I saw the hole in the moon, do 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 do. It was a good little welcome back to work song, honestly.
Okay.
And not welcome back to work, because I've been
You've
working.
been working.
I have been
Welcome back in
working,
office.
but in office. What's up, everybody? It is Monday, July 14th. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass, reunited at last. Coming up on today's show, the Grizzlies played 2 Summer League games in Las Vegas. We'll get some takeaways from there. John Morant showed up. The Grizzlies got Jaren Jackson Jr. officially signed to his extension. Cole Anthony bought out. Gary Parrish will join us about 40 minutes in. We'll chat with GP about all of that, and then we'll get into other happenings from the weekend. Yannick Sinner won Wimbledon, the MLB draft, and round 1 of Caitlin Clark versus Paige Bueckers in the WNBA. We'll end with a little Hot Mess Express. It's a Monday. You know what we say. We're so back. We're so back.
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for?
That boy is mine.
Are you ready?
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
All right, reflection time. 42 and 21, entering your sixth season. Of the 42, which one do you think about the most?
Probably was the Liberty Bowl win versus Iowa State.
Iowa State.
That was a big one.
To win in that fashion, we were, I think, it was the biggest underdog game we had all season.
Yeah.
10-point underdog, wherever the heck it was. And they go out there and feel like we actually single-handedly won the game. No fluke plays, just went out there and took care of business.
The better team.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Jaron jumped on social media yesterday and tweeted the following: "The M will teach you who you are with love. It's always grit and grind when we're out here at all cost." And I don't want to overstate it, but I do think these types of things matter. Like the way you feel about yourself, about your home, about your city. All of that stuff matters.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out. Let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what it's all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, have it my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I am finally home, back in Memphis, Tennessee, the state of Memphis. I've been gone 18 days. Saw that Bass Pro Pyramid shining in the distance last night and was like, God, so great to be home. Smacked with the thick air of the Memphis summer humidity. It's great to be back. Obviously, I was on the road last week doing the show from Salt Lake City and Summer League. Summer League has now shifted to Las Vegas. We have lots to get into from the Grizzlies weekend there. But from Salt Lake City, I went to Park City, and I had the most amazing time, CJ, at my friends Nicole and Nikhil's wedding. They are married. They had their big fat Greek Indian wedding over the weekend. It is a real grind, let me tell you, to make it through a 2-day wedding. I've never done a 2-day wedding. Have you ever had a 2-day wedding? Like multiple?
Jessica, I've been to 2 weddings in my life. No.
You've only been to 2 weddings in
Jessica,
your life?
I can count on.
And one was mine?
I can count on.
You've been to 3.
I can count on 2 hands how many weddings I've been to.
So more than 2.
So I say that to say no, I
I
haven't.
was curious if you've ever been to, because it was a multicultural wedding. So you had
Okay.
one wedding. It's not like they just chose to do 2 weddings. Like
Okay.
one wedding was for the westernized version of a wedding, and the other was the Indian wedding. And sometimes I think Indian weddings traditionally go 4 days. And so this was a very condensed version. I know a traditional Indian wedding ceremony can go 4 hours. They condensed it to 45 minutes, which was very nice. But it was beautiful being able to take in another culture that I was fairly unfamiliar with when it pertains to how a wedding would be done. And it was stunning. Like every detail was incredible. The venues were incredible. The Indian wedding was just so like rich and vibrant and so many bright colors everywhere. And there was a horse. The groom rode in on a horse. Traditionally, you ride in on an elephant, but it's hard to find an elephant in Park City, Utah. There's one horse that I guess gets used around like the 4 states around Utah. Every Indian wedding that happens in that area, it's this one horse. And God, I was worried that horse was gonna take the groom and go off for a run or get scared by everybody dancing around, because I have never been to a wedding with so much dancing I am sore. My body hurts. My feet hurt, my knees hurt. At one point, my Achilles had a little twinge, and I was like, oh, we are not re-tearing an Achilles at an Indian wedding. But I think it was amplified by the fact that the groom was a professional hip-hop dancer. He was in a hip-hop dance group in China coming out of college, and he was on Duke's hip-hop team. And then his brother is a professional dancer. He danced on Broadway, and he has a professional dance company. And so they set the tone for a very dance-heavy weekend. And you have like a thing called a barat, which is essentially a 20-minute dance party before the Indian wedding ceremony begins. So everyone's just sweating their booties off because the groom comes in on the horse and then gets off the horse and then everybody's just doing a dance party. And then we did a Sangeet, which is what I emceed, and what we ultimately had the 10 different dances from every different group that was there representing both the bride and the groom and their families and their friends. And the USC dance went great. Chris crushed it.
All right.
I wouldn't say we won. I was told it's not a competition. It's absolutely not. It's a celebration. But we did pretty darn good. And my co-MC, Dan, we MC'd the hell out of that Sangeet. 2 people's first Sangeet ever. I would love to start a side hustle where we go and MC Sangeets. I was told it was very organized. I was like, thank you, it's my job.
So you want to culturally appropriate the?
No,
okay.
no,
All
I
right,
want to
I'm just saying.
I will
like,
say the funniest thing Chris said all weekend. He was like, can we get married again and have an Indian wedding? And I said, no, Chris, we are white. And he was like, but it would be appreciating, not he's like, I just want to ride a horse and have everybody dance for me. But it was so beautiful. The families were beautiful. They're so kind. The aunties of Nikhil came through and helped with so many different situations, and just a really beautiful time. Like, I have been to so many great weddings, and so I'm never going to say like this was the greatest wedding of all time, because that would be disrespectful to all of the magical weddings that I've been able to be a part of. But this wedding truly was the most unique that I have ever been to, and was just a very, very special experience. And I will, and I do have henna on my hands, so get used to seeing me with my henna.
So how long
I don't
does
know
it take
how long
for it to
works.
come off?
I don't know. Do you know I've had henna one other time in my life?
No.
I got it at an amusement park when I was a child.
Where?
At Elitch Gardens in Denver, they had a henna stand, and I begged and pled to be able to get a henna tattoo, and I had like a moon and star situation back then, and so when they asked what I wanted this time, I was like, give me something celestial. So, and it matches with my freckles. It just goes straight into my little freckles.
Okay.
So anyway, I don't know how long it
How
lasts.
long did that last?
I think a long time.
Okay, turn up.
I think a very long time. One man at the wedding got it on his face.
Let's go.
And I said, that's aggressive. And he said, that's called retirement. And I said, God, I want to be you when I grow up. That sounds like a beautiful thing. So anyway, congratulations to them. Beautiful weekend by all. No deeper reality check, though, than boarding a plane and being like, okay, I need to fire up some Summer League reruns to watch. Not many people on this earth will go back and rewatch Summer League games, but that's why I'm sitting here this morning, because I did go back and catch up with the Memphis Grizzlies. 2 games from over the weekend in Las Vegas. Lost to the Celtics on Friday. First half was a disaster. They settled in the second half, and then they came back and they beat the Trailblazers on Saturday. So 1-1 in their quest to win a Summer League title. They had a nice little sweetheart schedule going on there in Las Vegas, because they played Friday, Saturday. They were off Sunday. They are off today. They don't play again until tomorrow, Tuesday night. So our Grind City media coverage will get back up and running tomorrow night. It's a late one, I think a 9:30 p.m. Central Time tip. And then they play again on Thursday. So they've had a couple days off, but they did have these 2 games. And I'd say, again, my biggest takeaway is a takeaway that I had after the first game of Summer League, which is I don't really need to see Jalen Wells, Gigi Jackson, Cam Spencer play any more Summer League basketball. But you know what? I bet I will. Gigi was out Saturday due to illness, but Jalen and Cam still out there. Second night of a back-to-back in Summer League. And I tried to tell people that I expected those 3 to play in Las Vegas, because there was some question of, were they just doing a little like get your feet wet moment in Salt Lake City? Were they actually going to be participating in the Vegas portion of Summer League? And everything that I gathered when I was around the team was, yes, they do intend to play. Those 3 really care about not just playing, but winning. And there is some element of chasing a Summer League championship, which might make you roll your eyes, but I do think it's a testament to just the care factor, the buy-in factor, being able to play under Coach Tomas Isolo through this Summer League period. And so we'll see. They could be done. They could get shut down. But it wouldn't surprise me at this point if they continue to log minutes for this Grizzlies Summer League team. For Jalen Wells, game against the Celtics, bit of a rough shooting night. I will say it's been promising to see him continue to impact the game in ways outside of scoring, even when that shot's off. He was 3 of 10 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3 against the Celtics, and then bounced back with a pretty nice 7 of 16 game against Portland, 2 of 5 from 3. He was also 7 of 8 at the line. So he's shooting 36% from the field, 35% from 3 during Summer League. He's getting a lot of shots up. They also finally got his graphic right on the ESPN broadcast. I could not believe that they, again, for a second time, misidentified Zion Poland as Jalen Wells. They did it last season during the regular season. They did it during Summer League. They finally have been able to understand this is who Jalen Wells is. And it's an interesting summer period for Jalen. Like, he's not as much of a creator, and so either he's going to have to continue to learn how to create for himself and others, or he sits comfortably in the role where others are setting him up for his shots when it pertains to, you know, where he fits within the Grizzlies rotation. And I know some people are already talking about how the small forward position is, you know, it's up for grabs, which, sure, technically, yes, any position is up for grabs, but someone's going to have to prove it and earn it and prove that they are, you know, above Jalen Wells in that pecking order. And I'm not willing to sit here and say, without having seen Cedric Coward, that that's the obvious thing that'll happen with him. Or I'm not ready to use Summer League as the gospel that Gigi Jackson is ready to play excess minutes for the Memphis Grizzlies during the regular season. Like, Jalen Wells can be a mirage that has happened throughout time, but from everything I've seen with Jalen Wells, know about Jalen Wells, he is somebody who is, you know, really primed to hold on to that role. Even listening to Tayshaun Prince talk in an interview from over the weekend about the decision to move on from Desmond Bane, like, this continues to get reiterated. The decision to move on from Desmond Bane was partially impacted by the Grizzlies' belief in Jalen Wells and Gigi Jackson and Cedric Coward, but a lot hangs on Jalen. So I think I've seen some of the conversations circulating around social media with Jalen Wells, and people freak. I'm like, it's Summer League. It's Summer League. Take a deep breath. Take it in, take it out. But I don't think it's been a disappointing Summer League for Jalen Wells by any means.
Summer League roster, Jalen Wells is the guy who, as much as you game plan around anybody in Summer League, he's the guy who you say, okay, if I'm an opponent, okay, I got to stop this guy. That's what I have to do. We're not out here for our health. We're out here to get better, and we're also out here to win games. If I want to win games, that's a defensive game plan. That's an all rookie player right there. That's somebody who starts for his NBA franchise. So we're going to key in and focus on making life a bit more difficult for that type of player. It's not going to be that type of defense in the NBA. It's going to be better, but he's not the focal point. That defenses aren't going to focus in and say, hey, scouting report. I know they got John Morant. I know they got Jaren Jackson Jr. Both of those dudes, they're fine. Who we really need to stop is Jalen Wells, right? So you're not going to be getting this type of defensive attention in the NBA. So now it becomes, hey, what do you do with the ball when you get it that's similar to what you'll be asked to do on the NBA roster come October? What do you do with it? And Jalen Wells has shown that he can still shoot. He's still a willing shooter, he's accurate enough shooting the ball. Great. What else can he do? He's a knockdown corner three-point shooter. He's that, absolutely. The rest of it, needs some work. But that corner, he's got that corner. Great. Stick his ass in the corner and figure it out. Does he put the ball on the floor at all? Is he dribbling? I was listening to DeMichael Cole talk about it, and DeMichael is saying, I want to see him get to the rim more. Now, in the last game, I think Jalen Wells was 5 for 11 on paint points. Once he put the ball on the floor, he's not pulling up. Right. And the art of the mid-range game may as well just go ahead and die in the NBA because nobody's doing that. But when he gets to the rim, is he good enough to finish? And then if he is, great. The next thing you'll need him to do is, hey, when he gets by people, can he create off the bounce? Probably not, possibly not, but who knows? Maybe he grows and develops into that. What you need Jalen Wells to do for the Grizzlies in regular season basketball, make threes, particularly the corner joints, play great defense, and if you have to put the ball on the floor and get to the rim, finish at the rim.
Or be able to make the right read.
I don't need
his assist numbers to be high.
I'm not sure he can. I don't know if that's
He's been rebounding well too.
Listen,
you just want a collective, right?
At this time of the year, and I think this has bitten this front office and the Grizzlies in general from a roster construction standpoint in the ass. We start talking about what dudes might potentially possibly be. Yo, if you got ingredients for oatmeal raisin cookie, bake the damn oatmeal raisin.
It's not a chocolate chip.
Don't try and make it chocolate chip. That's not going to work. So while it would be great for him to do all of these different things, I don't think that he can. Yeah. And that's not saying he's not a quality NBA player. That's not saying he's not somebody who should be receiving a ton of minutes come regular season action. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, if you want somebody to do all these other things, you should have went out and found them to do those things. What you got right now is what it is. Mm-hmm. So find a way to utilize what it is at the highest possible level and let the chips fall where they may. In the next season or in the middle of the season, before trade deadline, whatever you got to do, figure it out from there. But don't start thinking about this guy and any of these players as something other than what they are. We did that with Zaire. We've done that with a couple of other players. They had Zaire trying to run point in Summer League at one point in time. They're like, oh, it worked for Desmond Bane. Well, let's see what happens with Zaire. And even doing it with Desmond Bane in regular season NBA games, it's like, oh, there's a clear drop-off. We are not using this correctly, but we're forced to because people thought that, hey, Desmond Bane as a facilitator, playmaker could work.
But that is the nice thing about Summer League is it does provide experimentation. And for the Grizzlies right now, like they don't have a true point guard in Summer League. So you're going to see a lot of people have to play on the ball.
That's fine.
And if it gets...
Do they have one come regular season?
No, and that's
okay.
So you don't have
Wait,
to...
they do?
Well, yes, his name's John Morant.
And
he was there.
And
hey, he was there.
Don't they have Scotty?
And they also have Scotty.
Okay.
And so you don't need that to be Jalen Wells' position. Also, I'm not sure... Listen, in my little way too early preview of next season hopes and dreams, I do kind of want to see Jalen Wells move over to the shooting guard role. And then it becomes a competition for who is the small forward. KCP has floated between the 2 and the 3 throughout his career. So that can be KCP. That could eventually be a Gigi. That could eventually be a Cedric Coward. But I'm not making that declaration on July 14th without ever having seen Cedric Coward play in a Grizzlies uniform and with having seen Gigi Jackson have a really promising summer league last year and then falling off in his sophomore season. Now, what I will say is another thing that I'll be interested to like really latch on to is how Tomas Isolo defines what he wants from them. Because if there's anything I've pulled from listening to the players, and this includes I went back and listened to Scottie Pippen Jr.'s interview on Vernon on Friday, it feels as if there is really forward communication from Coach Isolo for every player and what the expectation is for that player and what their role is going to be. Because Scottie was talking about how last season he wasn't quite sure of his role and how that can impact confidence, and then Isolo comes in and says, no, this is like who you need to be, this is your role. And that's a very promising thing for a player to have, which is just assuredness. And if you know what is expected of you, then you are able to, like you just pointed out, CJ, you don't have to try to be something that you're not because you know what this team wants from you. So what that is for Jalen, what that is for Gigi, there does seem to be immense confidence in both of those players and what those futures can look like. DeMichael had his, I think it was his piece at the Commercial Appeal last week, talking about how Tomas Isolo doesn't want to go back and regret not being able to pull everything out of Gigi Jackson possible, right? Like not leaving anything there that could have been tapped into. That is what you want from a 20-year-old player on your summer league roster right now.
That's going to be up to Gigi.
Yes.
That's like whatever limitations and setbacks that Gigi Jackson will face next year. He's got to have the mentality to be able to overcome that. It's a mental game just like it's a physical game, and so it's easy to be jovial and to be playing well and to show flashes when you're so much better than everybody else on the court. The talent that Gigi has just oozes all over him, right?
And
like
you're featured.
It's all over the place. Yeah. And you get to be he gets to be featured because he's so much better than everybody else on the court. Mm-hmm. Well, now when everybody's as good as you are or better, now what are you? How do you handle that mentally? Because you can still contribute without being featured, and can you embrace and accept that? That is something that Summer League is not going to be able to show me anything about as it pertains to Gigi. So for me, Gigi Jackson, Whatever he does in summer league is like fine, okay, because whatever issues he has is up here. It's not on the court. And until he's faced with some adversity, which he will not face in Vegas because he's so much better than everybody else, until he faces that adversity, I won't be able to know what GG is this year.
On the court, there is growth to be had in decision-making on the court. There's growth to be seen in his defensive game. But yes, it does feel like it's a between-the-ears situation that will really be the needle mover on how Gigi is able to take advantage of year number 3. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Some final thoughts from those 2 summer league games over the weekend, plus who was there for the Memphis Grizzlies. John Morant showed up in Las Vegas. He did 2 interviews, one on ESPN that didn't seem like he was thrilled to be doing, but then did like a 2.5-minute scrum with a bunch of media members afterwards. Got some good insight from him on Jaren's extension that became official over the weekend, the Dez trade, what it is to be a leader for this group. We'll get into all of that and more when we come back.
What can the Memphis Grizzlies learn from the Thunder Pacers NBA Finals Series?
Your style of play is not something that you really have to change. Both of these teams love to play fast. Both these teams love to play really aggressively on the defensive side of the ball.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Have you always dreamed of entertaining on the biggest stage in Memphis? The Claw Crew is looking for members to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. Claw Crew members are hardworking, high-energy entertainers who assist Grizzlies home games by hyping up the crowd and much more. Not only do they support the Grizzlies at home games, but also promote in Memphis and across the Mid-South. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions for more information and to register today.
The first ladies of FedEx Forum, the Grizz Girls, are known across the NBA for setting the standard for professional dance and entertainment, and they are looking for dancers to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. With the chance to gain professional dance experience, collaborate with national and local artists, and connect with the Memphis community, auditioning for the Grizz Girls is an opportunity you do not want to miss. Come show up and show out at Open Call Auditions. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals takes it straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
The FedEx St. Jude Championship at TPC Southwind, first of the 3 playoff events.
Watch me take flight. It's a different sight when you take it to this height. And you know this. We them boys step into the wars, ready to give me my awards. I got starstruck. I got nothing to lose, so I'm letting it loose. I ain't paying my dues. I got starstruck.
You get to the main event. And you hear the crowd. There's some rumblings in the crowd.
Here we go.
They say, "We want truth."
I love how John Cena said when they were chanting, "We want truth." You can't handle the truth.
There you go.
I loved it.
He takes the knee off, boom. Takes the mask off, boom. And it's our freaking truth. God, man, he cost John Cena the match.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
There are futures for Aaron Judge possibly hitting 400. Hitting 400 at the All-Star break, plus 600.
Oh, wow.
To have a 400 batting average in the regular season, plus 3,800. To win the Triple Crown is only plus 145.
I don't think he's going to hit 400 for the season.
I don't either. I that would be
ridiculous.
Yes, ridiculous.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. All right, welcome back, welcome back. If you're joining us live, be sure to vote in our chat question of the day. What is the best way to prepare macaroni and cheese? 36% of the vote. creamy. I'm Team Crispy, which has 35% of the vote. 25% of you say whatever Kraft says is how I do it, which means 25% of you are using Kraft mac and cheese as your primary source of making mac and cheese. We disagree on this. I don't think it's awful. I think Kraft is passable, but if you have a choice, you should always be choosing in my opinion, bake it, get it crispy. But I will take nice, thick, creamy mac and cheese over just the soupy water mac and cheese of Kraft. But if I'm in a pinch, that powdered cheese does the job.
I would rather just not eat.
No.
Not I would rather not eat macaroni and cheese. No, I'd rather not eat than eat that boxed macaroni. Get that out. I want no piece or no part about that.
Macaroni and cheese, possibility. That's the song, right?
I don't know, but it's cool.
Or is
It
that
should be.
I feel like that's a different.
Are you mixing up jingles?
Uh-huh. I think I'm mixing jingles. Kraft macaroni and cheese. God, I think it's something else.
Endless possibilities? That's what you said, right?
Possibility.
I'm going to look that up. I'm going to look that up because I got to figure out what you're doing. It's National Macaroni and Cheese Day, by the way.
Happy National Macaroni and Cheese Day to all who celebrate. Wrapping up Summer League takeaways, I will say I have found myself wishing that Zach Edey could have played this Summer League just from a standpoint of it would have been very intriguing to see him in this system and playing alongside Jalen, Gigi, and Cam. I am not the most inspired by Armando Bacot from a consistency standpoint. I know he had a good game on Saturday with 14 and 12. I just feel like perhaps bigs are set up to have big games in this offense. Like Lawson Levering had 10 and 6, and I'm not sure he will have. Yes, you're staring at me.
The Bacot.
Yeah.
He had 4 blocks also,
He did.
right? Okay. So was there.
So defensively, I mean, I just don't see it regularly from Bacot. I'm talking about for a two-way. Like, I think absolutely he could still be on the hustle. He could be on a G League team. I'm just very curious who they are ultimately going to give this third two-way to. They gave the one to Javon Small. The assumption is that Meshack will get one, and then what that third one will be used on. And I saw a lot of people coming out of Saturday saying, okay, well, that was the Armando Bacot game. Give him that two-way. I'm not crystal clear on that. By all means, he could get it. I do think we could see a situation like last season, as we have mentioned, where there is somebody else out there on the Summer League radar that the Grizzlies could be interested in. I will be a little disappointed if we never get to see that Australian dude, Will Magnay, who's been injured. I don't know if there's any possibility for him to come back at the end. It might be too late. Perhaps Bacot has overtaken that. Just ultimately, the Grizzlies don't have a real consistent, confident big on the Summer League roster. Bacot had a good game. There is definitely still a possibility that he ends up being that player on the third two-way. Is it the right jingle, CJ? You're bopping over there. Did I get it right?
No.
No! What is it? What's the Kraft jingle? I don't recognize that jingle at all. Anyway, other players that I like as you continue to bop around to whatever you're listening to.
I got the Blues Kraft macaroni and cheese. That's one of them. I got the Blues Kraft macaroni and cheese. The blue box, please. That's that one. That's the one from the 90s. So I'm still trying to find it. You can't be throwing to me as I got potentially copyrighted music being played over here also.
Sorry.
Don't be wanting to get flagged.
I just really want to know what song that says possibilities. I don't know what possibility. Please, anybody in the chat solve this mystery as I go on a one last tangent.
Who are we talking about? Wait, before I got distracted by the Kraft macaroni and cheese. Bacot.
I'm lukewarm.
Okay.
I'm lukewarm. You know who I really like? Philandrous.
Philandrous? Junior.
Which means
Philandrous Junior.
I would love to talk to Philandrous Senior at some point. He has impressed me. I hope he plays for the hustle.
What do you mean, impressed?
He makes plays on both sides of the ball. He hustles. He had that nice steal against the Trailblazers and then a behind-the-back pass to Tyler Burton, who Tyler Burton has continued to have some nice little moments. I do enjoy seeing players like that who are fighting for their NBA career lives, their G League lives, And I have enjoyed the play of Flanders Fleming Jr. He's been a good energy guy for the Grizzlies. All right, there on Saturday to support the Grizzlies was Ja Morant and others. Ty Jerome was there, Scottie Pippen Jr. was there, Zach Edey was there. But when Ja Morant walks into a building, it's just different. Being around a group of sports fans this weekend, I think I mentioned a lot of Seattle people were at this wedding. And so they are ultimate Thunder haters and really love to talk about how much they hate the Thunder, but they did enjoy talking about basketball. I made a great joke, CJ. I added it at the last second in my speech. I said, "Bring back the Sonics." It hit so well. Oh, that place erupted. I felt like I had just won the lottery. You're like, I knew this was going to play well. But they're interested in talking about basketball, and they're of course interested in talking about Ja Morant. Like, that's just the nature of the Memphis Grizzlies. If you bring up, "Hi, I work in Memphis," and "Hi, I work for the Grizzlies," the first question that comes out is, so what's the deal with Ja Morant? What's the real deal? People want to know, what's the real deal with Ja Morant? And I enjoy talking to people, and I think sometimes the national perspective of Ja, there's a little bit of a misunderstanding of like who he is. And so I really enjoy telling people about, you know, how generous he is with his time and how good he is with his teammates and how nice he is to interact with regularly within the Grizzlies, and ultimately how the big hope is that Ja Morant's going to have a massive season next year and be one of the reasons why the Grizzlies are ultimately able to compete in the West alongside Jaren Jackson Jr. And so when Ja speaks for a limited amount of time, Ja makes news, even if he doesn't say much. There was the interview within the ESPN broadcast where he did not necessarily want to be doing that interview within the ESPN broadcast. And I loved when they asked if he was going to get back to being, like, I think, how was it framed? Are you going to be the old Ja Morant soon? And he just said, for show. Just for show. And I was like, yes, that sums it up quite nicely. But then within the 2.5-minute scrum that he did with various media members, I thought gave like a little bit more insight. And he talked about the reaction to the Desmond Bane trade to the Magic. He said he was shocked about it, that he got a message from Des and then saw it all over the internet and originally thought that it was fake, but then ultimately went on to say that it's best for both sides and how Desmond Bane is going to a very talented Orlando team and how he's going to be a big piece for what they've been missing. He talked about the Jaren extension, and I thought it was funny that he said that he thought that he would get way more money, but doesn't understand any of the salary cap stuff. He was very complimentary of Gigi Jackson's performance through Summer League thus far. He was excited about the additions of KCP and Ty Jerome, and it was just good to hear from him. And then ultimately, like, the big reason why he was there was because he understands what it means to be a leader on this team. So even though he has a busy summer upcoming and he has this big Asia tour where he's going to go to China and he's going to go to Japan, the other thing outside of people name association with the Memphis Grizzlies being Ja Morant, CJ, it's Yuki Kawamura. And I had to break the news to people that Yuki Kawamura is no longer a member of the Memphis Grizzlies, and they were shockingly devastated.
We love when that guy comes into game, and we do it at a young age.
But these are non-Memphis people.
It doesn't matter. I've been that guy, right? Like, I was a 6th grader on the 8th grade basketball team, and the crowd went crazy when my goofy ass would check in the games. It's like, oh, here's this guy. He's not good enough to actually play, but look at him. He's out there on the court doing stuff. We cheer for that. We do it. And once a year, we get one of these videos, at least once a year, going viral where somebody checks into a high school basketball game who's got no business playing high school basketball, and the crowd goes insane for that. Like, that's what Yuki was last year, where it was, hey, here's this guy who otherwise wouldn't get minutes in the NBA if not for this game being out of hand. Here he comes now, checking in, Yuki Kawamura, and everybody goes crazy because everybody loves that guy. We did it with Taco Fall. We've done it with other players throughout the course of history and time. Mateen Cleaves is one who stands out to me. These guys who kick it perennially on the bench, but when they check into the game, everybody loves it. Everybody gets excited. The Nassus, another one where it's like, okay.
Well, that's a Nepo situation. That's an excitement because he's Giannis's brother.
It's excitement because this dude should not be playing.
Fair.
But here he is playing right now. So, like,
now
it's hard.
Yuki's dropping dimes for the Chicago Bulls Summer League team, and we're having to say,
is he going to get signed to the Bulls? As long as we still get Yuki in the NBA is better
with
when
Yuki Kawamura.
When we have that player in it somewhere. We don't need a whole league of that player. We just need 2 or 3 a season that's on roster so that in the doldrums of the NBA season, the ESPN or Fox or us or whomever it may be can say, hey, this game got out of hand, but here's a Yuki highlight for you people, and we all go crazy.
He had some really nice passes.
Good.
No one does a Summer League passing highlight reel quite like Yuki Kawamura, and I am glad that he's able to have that moment. He talked about, how he wished that he could have continued to play for Memphis, how Ja Morant's his brother for life, and I really hope that when Ja gets to the Japan leg of this tour, that Yuki is able to join him. They'll go crazy. They will go absolutely wild if you get a Ja-Yuki collaboration in Japan. I want to go to the Ja-Yuki collaboration in Japan. But it was so funny to me that these people who follow basketball enough, but it also reminds you it's really hard to follow every single team in the NBA if you're not, in this and involved in it constantly. And so they were like, oh yeah, the Memphis Grizzlies. So you have Ja Morant, you got rid of Desmond Bane, and who's that Yuki Kawamura guy? I'm like, he does not play for the Grizzlies, although he did get a standing ovation in Washington, D.C. I do remember that, and the Yuki chants were everywhere, and obviously he was very much loved when he was here in Memphis for a short time. But I did like to see Ja there. I know it's not the most important thing in the world. Did Ja Morant go and support the Memphis Grizzlies Summer League team in person in Las Vegas? But those are the kinds of things that faces of the franchise do, that faces of the league do, and I think it shows a level of maturity from Ja that he knew it was important to be there. He knew it was a good face move and also a good supportive move, a genuine supportive move to be there for some of the younger guys on this team. And you did remove one of your perceived leaders in this group in Desmond Bane, and it puts even more of a weight on the shoulders of Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. as this is their team. And Jaren did get his extension officially signed over the weekend. We knew it was going to happen. They had to continue to make the moves around the margins financially. They were able to complete the Cole Anthony buyout, which reportedly was allowing them to get about $4 million to add to that Jaren Jackson Jr. contract extension. And so they get those moves done. Next will be the Santi Aldama signing, the Ty Jerome signing. So we'll start to see those things trickle down. But it all goes to this being Ja and Jaren's team, and Ja showing up and being there to support that group, I thought was ultimately an important sign. Is it merely symbolic? Sure. But it's always cool. And it's cool to see people react so positively and excitedly to getting even the smallest of interviews from Ja Morant. People just want to grasp on to any words that they can get from him. And that's kind of where we were at over the weekend.
And I think it's notable and noteworthy that he gave them no words. That's a part of maturing in this thing, where it is, okay, people will hyperfixate on things that I say. I don't, and because of that, I don't really want to be out here like that, especially with ESPN, somebody who has done a good job of making me look less than what I think I am. When you think about some of the Hollinger, was it Hollinger? No, it wasn't Hollinger. McMahon pieces that he's done a couple of times, right or wrong. If you're that person that's the center focal point of that piece, and he's talking about what a jerk you've become, I understand it rubbing you the wrong way, but I appreciate Ja Morant and where he is right now, at least in this moment where he is right now, saying, hey, I still got to show up and be a leader for my team. I've done Vegas. I've got all the money in the world. I've done Vegas more than a time or two. Let me just come in real quick for a day, do the rounds, let everybody see me there, talk to the teammates, and then get the hell up out of there, because
a day trip.
I do not want to be there. I don't want to be the focal point on any broadcast. We saw after the injury in the playoffs, he's trying to throw his hand up to block cameras from showing his face on the broadcast. Unknowingly, though, there are cameras all over the arena, so we still got to see him. But he does not want to be on the camera of these national broadcast companies, particularly ESPN, which I understand. Right or wrong, I understand. If I'm the focal point and that's what's being said, hey, stay away from me. I have nothing to say to you people. But you do have an obligation. You do have a duty. Go there, do it in the most mature way possible. Give us nothing. Say all of the words that you can, but leave nothing to be interpreted or dissected or just okay, what does he really mean here? Keep it short, keep it sweet. Get the hell up out of there and get back to the off-season grind, because it's like you said, it's your team now. And you're behind schedule now. after the first, 4 seasons maybe, of being ahead of schedule, of being like, oh, look at that plucky young team. They're going to emerge and do something. Hadn't emerged to do it yet. And so now the pressure is on you. Get back into the gym. Get back to the grind. And
hey, hear me out.
And knock
the
this
lab.
out.
That's the only. That's what I thought to like put a bow on this. The best thing of Ja being at Summer League, the only quote graphic I saw of his entire interview, because you know these people love to make a quote graphic because those things go super viral. The only quote graphic I saw from the ESPN interview was, "I'm already in the lab." Hell yeah. I'm already in the lab on feeling healthy and ready for next season.
I'm working. Like, that's it.
In the lab.
Don't do it.
Beautiful. Beautifully done. And on top of that, the media scrum, not one, like, super digital clicky bite from it. It was hard work finding the entirety of that interview. Shout out Mike Wallace, who's there for Grind City Media. He'll be on the show tomorrow, but he had the whole thing done. I think Terry Davis was filming the whole thing, but it's not like there was something that happened there that Terry Davis is always, he stays there. Terry Davis will always be there covering the Grizzlies, wherever it might be, in Las Vegas during the season. But my point being, it was hard to find because Ja Morant did not give anything in a bite that made it really easy. And I think that's a positive place to be. You don't need to be the story of Summer League. You're just there, you're supporting your team, we move on, and I look forward to seeing how that tour is going to go in Asia because I think it's going to go crazy because, again, people love Ja Morant. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Gary Parrish is going to join us on the other side. We'll get his thoughts on Summer League and some other topics as well after a quick break.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GBWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
These are the Jordan 1, the crystals. These are the shoe that retails for $1,000. Oh, extra crystals. So if your crystals fall off, if your crystals fall off, actually these are the black crystals because they have. So the shoe has black crystals on there as well too. So you get an extra package of black crystals.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
There are futures for Aaron Judge possibly hitting 400. Hitting 400 at the All-Star break, plus 600.
Oh, wow.
To have a 400 batting average in the regular season, plus 3,800. To win the Triple Crown is only plus 145.
I don't think he's going to hit 400 for the season.
I don't either. I that would be
ridiculous.
Yes, ridiculous.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
It's time for our Pick Six, Mike. 6 classics that we're most looking forward to in the 2025 football season.
Las Vegas, obviously, that's the Grambling State University, Jackson State University clash. They're taking 2 iconic HBCU brands going to an NFL stadium in Las Vegas.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Welcome back. It's Monday. That means it's time to catch up with Gary Parrish, host of The Gary Parrish Show, weekday mornings at 10 a.m. on Grind City Media. He joins us Mondays. He joins us now. Gary, so good to see you in studio.
It's good to be here.
In person.
It's good to be in person. It's good to be in the studio. I think I'm doing the show from the studio today.
Oh, yeah, this is your studio
I think this
week.
is going to be my studio today.
Only for a couple days because you're headed out
to
on a trip
Peach
yourself.
Jam. I have to go
Yes.
to Peach Jam in North Augusta, South Carolina, just north of Augusta, Georgia. Looking forward to it.
Well, my studio is your studio.
Well, that's very
and Chris Vernon's studio.
Yeah.
And the Sneak Fest studio.
Yeah.
And the Odds Couple studio. No, wait, is Odds Couple in the other one now?
The-
shift back and forth.
Yeah, I appreciate the hospitality.
Hospitality?
Yes, I'm looking
Thank
forward
you.
to it. I don't know that I need a room this big, but I'm looking forward to I'm just going to talk for about 90 minutes and then call it a day.
It's very spacious.
Yeah.
And you're going to talk words that you come up with yourself. We were talking during the
Yeah.
break. I shared in the first segment that I co-hosted or co-emceed a Sangeet at an Indian wedding this weekend. And I didn't mention, but I told you during the break that someone came up to me afterwards and asked me to be honest. Did you use AI to write the Sangeet and your speech? I said, no. Why on earth would I use AI to write this speech? But it did just strike me. I was around a lot of tech people, and one of the groom works in the AI space, so it's big, and it was included in a lot of vows and speeches from other people. And even he was looking up before the wedding. He used ChatGPT to figure out how he should caffeinate himself because he felt like he was hitting a lull and he needed to get a little bit more energy. So should he have a chai or a Diet Coke? And he was asking ChatGPT.
Sure,
and
I guess. Why not?
I would just down that Diet Coke and hope for the best.
Yeah, I don't even
but
think about it.
I appreciate using it, but it is interesting. We still work in an industry that is fairly devoid of relying on ChatGPT a lot because it doesn't keep up with live sports. Like if I typed into ChatGPT, hey, can you tell me what I need to talk about from the Grizzlies Summer League games over the weekend? I've tried this actually, and they'll tell you like Zaire Williams did this, or Jake LaRavia had a great game for the Memphis Grizzlies, and you're like, well, they're not on the team, so we're off of that. The only thing ChatGPT has not helped me with, but I found interesting from sports. You want to know who ChatGPT said the Grizzlies should take in this year's draft? Cedric Howard.
How about that?
So, artificial intelligence says the Grizzlies made the right move.
Yeah, I acknowledge up front, I'm a little behind on all of this. Like, I do not use it the way I see other people using it.
Me neither.
Like, people will send me pictures, and they'll be like, yeah, I just chat GPT this or AI this, and like, this is supposed to represent you being, and I'm like, I didn't even know this was, I'll tell you another one where I've run into it. Kelly, we'd be in the car, and for years, she has used like, just our own kids or other people's kids as de facto models at Aiden and Ollie. And now she can literally just tell her phone to put an 8-year-old girl in these clothes, and boom, she's got a picture. She has a model just like that.
Yeah.
It's just sort of weird. I don't use it in any other way other than to try to find out answers to questions.
Yes.
Who was in this movie? When did this movie come out?
I still Google.
I'm still in the infancy stages of all this.
I'm doing this wild thing called Google.
I will say, but it is changing very quickly. We are to a point to where I see things now and I don't know whether to believe them or not. Like I will see something like Justin Bieber takes shot at new Clips album, and I don't know whether that's real or not. So that I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like seeing something and automatically assuming this might be fake.
Yeah.
But that's the world we're living in. And I did see an interesting interview with, I'll just say, an entrepreneur, somebody who's been on the forefront of where the world is going for decades and has always been able to see around the corner before the rest of us, which is the reason this person wanted to talk to this person about AI and where we're headed. Hey, you've always seen where the world's headed, just a little bit before the rest of us. Where is the world headed? And the guy's answer was more or less to a really, really, really bad place and quicker than you think. And that was alarming to me. Not to where I changed my lifestyle in any sort of way.
Yeah.
But that quote has stuck with me. I think as we sit here right now, you ever go back and see people talk about the internet before it was really a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's this famous David Bowie interview. Have you ever seen that? Where somebody's asking David Bowie about the internet, and he's like, "Oh no, you don't even have any idea where this is headed. Your brain can't comprehend where this is headed." We didn't know where the internet was going to take us. The indication from this person was, you don't really know where we're about to go, but we're going to be there, and it's going to be quicker than you think, and it's not going to be great.
That's the issue, the quickness with which we are going to get there. You know, they're lying now. They're lying and they're threatening. AI, when stressed, like they've done it, they're trying to, the people in charge of it are making it and doing things like, okay, let's make sure that everything is good here. When stressed out, AI threatened one of the computer programmers. AI was like, yo, stop, or don't unplug me. That was a threat. They were like, yo, we're going to have to unplug you. AI was like, don't you unplug me, because I will tell your wife about the affair you're having.
I mean, what?
Like, real
how
stuff.
about traveling now? Like, we were traveling in the Salt Lake City airport yesterday, which is a wildly advanced airport. For
I love that
being Salt
airport.
Lake. Beautiful.
Beautiful airport.
Stunning airport. Someone was like, why is this airport so bougie? It's Salt Lake City. And I don't know the reasoning behind it, but it is a very nice airport, and it's very technology first. And now there are... Have you seen this with TSA Pre? There's normal TSA Pre, and there's TSA Pre digital ID.
With my eyes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have that.
You have that one. Okay. So,
I check into the airport like this.
yes. And a lot of people do that already, so I think it's just a barrier of people not understanding. They already have your eyes. They already have your...
Oh, yeah, trust me, they got your eyes.
They know you're in the airport.
Yeah.
Like, when we were coming back from...
You ready? If you walk into Madison Square Garden, they know you're there.
I know. When we were coming back from Antigua and flying through Miami and had to go through customs, we have global entry, and so we inputted on the app that we had landed at our port city, and we walked through the global entry line in customs, and we never had to show our passport. They knew we were there. We walked past the camera. They said, welcome back, Ms. Benson.
There you go.
And off we were. So again, these things are impacting us in a way where when I live here or when I'm here at home in Memphis, it's not as if we are, obviously we talk about AI from the standpoint of Elon Musk and the supercomputer and XAI, but it doesn't impact our lives regularly. And I've been in a lot of spaces over the last month where I recognize how behind I feel.
Right.
Because other parts of our country and other industries and the coasts or whatever are operating from a usefulness of AI far more than we are, and I felt a little behind. It's a very odd feeling.
It's all changing very quickly. Like there are cities right now where you could just be walking around and there's cars going around and there's nobody in them.
I took one.
Okay,
I
right.
took a Waymo.
Okay, right. But you haven't seen that here yet.
No.
But it's
and
coming.
when I say that I went in one to people here, they're like, you trusted getting in? And sure, it felt a little silly, a little weird, a little scary.
Right.
But on my second ride, I was like, this is great.
Yeah, so I had this experience down in Oxford about a year ago. I was on the Ole Miss campus, and there's all these little things just rolling around everywhere, delivering food to people.
Yeah.
I had never seen that.
That's so funny you mentioned that. The first one of those I ever saw was at the University of Utah campus like 4 years ago when I was there for a USC.
So I'd never seen that.
Yeah,
when I saw them, I assumed what they were,
Yeah.
but I was like, I've never actually seen these. Because it wasn't like there's one. It was like you'd see seven
Everywhere.
inside of 3 minutes. They're
They were
just
delivering
everywhere.
books,
Yes, they're
textbooks.
just everywhere.
Yeah.
So like that's something that I had not seen with my own eyes, say a year ago. Now we'll all see them all the time. Even with my own, and I'm not even trying to talk about it in any sort of weird way, but like I have a self-driving car.
Yeah.
Even a year ago, it's more advanced now than, like I can't overstate how much more advanced it is today than it was even a year ago, because it's constantly just sending you software updates. And now I'm not exaggerating. I use it every single day. I did not drive myself to work today.
Yeah.
I sat behind my steering wheel like this and came to work today.
I don't know why I hadn't really understood how many people like you were doing that. We took our Uber to the airport on the way to our trip, was in a self-driving car in Memphis. And I was like, people are using self-driving cars?
I do it every day. And when people get in the car with me who have never been in the car with me, they get a little uneasy about it. And I'm just like, trust me, this car's paying closer attention than I would be.
Yeah.
If I were driving, I would also be looking at my Twitter feed and trying to figure out what to listen to. This car is just focused on everything that's going on.
I just say thank you. I always make sure I thank the robots or the AI or I say please. I'm very polite because it is moving at this very rapid pace, and we can get off the subject eventually, but I am fascinated by it right now. And there were some former AI employees who kind of left big AI companies and came together to write essentially a warning to people. It's something 2027. I know people are tired of projects, but it's like AI 2027. And it's essentially like you have until this date to put in the proper regulations to get people ready, or else it is going to grow at such a rapid rate that there is no turning back. And like you started this with, we do not even know what that will look like.
That's what stuck with me is this guy who, like, I'm not sitting here trying to tell you this is what I think. I don't know.
I listened to some other people.
I acknowledge up front I'm not smart enough to grasp all of this stuff, right? I can barely rank basketball teams. What I'm telling you is they put a man on television in an interview setting who's been on the forefront of this type of thinking for decades. He always sees where everything's going. And so they said, where is this going? And he said, you can't even grasp it. You can't even wrap your mind around where this is going, but it's going there more quickly than you think, and it's going to be bad. That was his prediction. That was his prediction.
I know you want to get off of this topic, Jessica, but I find this stuff so
I find
very,
it fascinating. My husband is so tired of me talking about it with everybody over the last 3 weeks.
It's real. I mean, we just saw last week, for whatever reason, Grok decided, he was going to proclaim himself, or it was going to proclaim itself Mecha Hitler. It's like, wait a second, why are we doing this all of a sudden? Where in the hell did that behavior come from? How do we put the stuff in that is necessary to regulate it so that does not come back up again? Because eventually, we say we don't know where it's going, but we've seen the movies. Yeah. We know exactly where it's going. Terminator, iRobot, pick one of those dystopian things.
I feel like I have to not be on the side, but like present this side. There are people who are trying to work through AI from a very technological forward. For the people who looked at a computer all those decades ago and said, ooh, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen. But there were people like a Bill Gates or like a Steve Jobs and looked at the potential for these things to grow into really useful, helpful applications that supposedly made our lives better. And you can make the argument on that if you will. But there are large companies, there are entrepreneurs, there are hundreds of thousands of people out there in business worlds that you cannot even begin to comprehend what they are trying to use AI for in a positive space. This is not all negative, and so there is a balance, but I know it's scary, and without regulations it can turn into an
we don't have to talk about the positives that is doing, do we? Like, if we're pointing out the negatives,
I'm around people who are so inspired by the way they light up when trying to figure out how to use AI to make the world a better place, to get food to people who have never been able to have consistent. I mean, we talk about food deserts all the time, how AI can be used to help the creation of food and to help with the delivery of food to remote areas, to help in medicine, to help in testing. But we can't just talk about it as a monolith.
Well, I just think it's the next step in the quote unquote internet, like all of this, and all of it's far too complex for my mind. I hope I've made that clear.
Yeah.
But
we are not the experts here by far.
But there are people in the infancy of the internet who would say, yes, the internet's going to be amazing and also problematic and really create some issues. It has undeniably created issues for us. I mean, in elections, in the way we deal with each other on a day-to-day basis. Like, our country is in a weird place and has been for a while, and I think that it's largely because of the internet, right? So yes, the internet's amazing in the sense that, man, I like knowing everything right in my phone, but it has also, like, I've seen people lose themselves in the internet. I'm not exaggerating. Like, people are lost on Facebook. I mean, I see people every day that I know, and they're like lost on Facebook.
Lost is the perfect word, and it feels unfindable.
They are living in a banana world. I mean, it's just
TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit.
They are so detached from the real world.
Yeah.
And it's always similar things that led them to this place, but then I watched them unravel in some ways, right? I mean, these are people that at one point in my life, I knew them as reasonable, normal people, and now they are lost on the internet, right? And so that's the bad in this. It has done bad. The internet has been amazing, but also done some bad stuff or brought about some bad things, and this is just the next step. To reemphasize, I don't pretend to know where it's going, and I don't doubt there's going to be some amazing stuff that comes from it. It's just that when I listen to people way smarter than me talk about it, they say, yeah, there's going to be some amazing aspects of it. It's gonna be bad though. There's gonna be some bad things that come around, and when you start asking for specifics, it's like we can't
even comprehend. And I think it's because the specifics are so scary. There was one portion of the kind of warning sector of how many human beings will be necessary in a functioning society once AI is the predominant employer, employee, not governing body, that takes it a step too far. But you would be shocked how few humans are needed for the Earth.
Well, like that's the other thing. I don't want to dumb this too far down,
Right.
but at some point, like if businesses don't need actual humans to run them in any sort of meaningful way.
So how do you work in tandem where you're not just laying off an entire company or workforce?
I don't have the answers for that.
I saw that the Waymo graveyard where the Waymos just sit at the end. There's one employee who makes sure that they are all in order and nothing, but they got there themselves. They plug in themselves. They back into their chargers. And I was like, that is terrifying.
You know, I figure I ain't got much time left anyway.
Oh, that's good.
I'm just going to try to run out the clock on this thing.
I have a little more than you.
I would assume you have more than me, but you know, I can maybe get to the finish line before the whole thing goes completely awry.
Hey, in the
as of right now,
meantime-
you can still make tea times. As long as you can still make tea times.
You can make a tea time, and you can still choose. You have free will to watch Summer League if you want to. Did you watch either of the Grizzlies Friday or Saturday?
I
Summer
was
League
in
games?
studio Friday afternoon for that disappointing opener
Oh, you hate to
against
see it.
against the.
Tough for the championship goals there.
Oh man, you don't ever want to come out like that in summer league. And then on Saturday night, did I have it streaming on a screen? Yes, but were we locked in? No. Once Gigi Jackson is out with the illness, I decided maybe I could be out with the illness as well.
We could all just take the.
Yeah, and
Saturday.
you know what?
I have to be totally honest.
Yeah.
I knew we played Friday.
Mhm.
Obviously, I was at these weddings, and so trying to just live in the moment.
Yeah.
But I am ultimately attached
Sure.
to this, like many of us are. And saw, they lost, and looked at the stats and saw some highlights. And I was like, when I went to the bathroom, and I was like, okay. Saturday rolls around, and I pick up my phone for the first time in hours, and it has a Grizzlies Summer League note. I go, they played back to back.
Oh yeah, we're doing back to backs in summer league. I love the NBA. The whole year, everybody's like, we can't do back to back, and back to backs are the devil, and back to backs that's how you rupture an Achilles, and back to backs are the worst. And it's like, hey, we just drafted a whole new group of guys. Let's put them in back to backs in July.
Let's have them picking up full court in the last minute of a back-to-back in July.
Hey, you know how we think the season's too long from like October through the end?
But the young ones are fine.
Let's let the ones we just invested millions in, let's let them do back-to-backs. Let's start their clock in July and let them do back-to-backs immediately.
We've already talked. Yeah, I feel like from Salt Lake to Vegas, we'll continue to monitor the progression or the minutes or the play, whatever, of Jalen and Gigi and Cam, and if there's any new things from the rookies. And I thought the most interesting thing out of the weekend was John Morant showing up.
I agree.
And because he is one of the most interesting people in the sport of basketball. He is the most important member of this Memphis Grizzlies team, and he showed up to support. He called it a day trip. He obviously has busy times ahead with this Asia tour that he's doing, and he needs to go to China, but he found it important enough to come and support the Grizzlies, and he did do media, both the interview on ESPN and then an interview with a variety of local media and others who were there to speak to him. And I thought ultimately, CJ and I talked about it in the last segment, there was nothing crazy that came out of it, and that's perfectly great. And just from hearing his perspective on being a leader, and being a leader meant showing up and supporting this young team at Summer League, I thought that was a good thing to roll with.
I thought it was important that he was there. I also thought it was important how he explained, or why he explained that he was there. Hey, Josh, so you're here in Vegas at Summer League. How's it going? Man, you never pass up an opportunity to come to Vegas. Woo-hoo! Man, this place is a blast. Love coming here as often as I can. He could say that. It's fine. That's true for a lot of us. But I much prefer what he said, which was, I felt like I needed to be here. As the leader of this franchise, I need to be here to show people I'm supporting them. That is what leaders do. And that is the type of things leaders say. And sure, it's just words and actions louder than words and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, all I can do is have opinions about what I just saw, what we just experienced. And I thought that was a good moment. I thought it was important. I think it's right for you to pick up on it. He verbalized, I am here because I feel like I need to be here because I'm supposed to be the leader of this franchise. I know I'm paraphrasing, that's not the exact quote, but that was the sentiment. And if he feels that way right now and shows that, then that's not only good stuff, I think it's also, and I say this as a compliment, perhaps progress.
Yeah, and I never want to get too in the weeds of taking too much out of
Yeah, like those cameras could have gone off, and then who knows where the night goes.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to
yeah.
make anything of it more than what I'm telling you specifically, which is
But within
I like his
that
answer.
context, I like that answer. I liked his answer about Jaren
Yes.
and calling him the heart of the team.
Yes.
The connectivity of those two players and the continued support, and we have seen nothing but support of those two together. And now as they move into this new period of this is a twosome. The trio got broken up. Desmond Bane is now in Orlando, and he was super complimentary of Des too, which we love to see. But ultimately, this team will go as Ja and Jaren allow them to go and through their play and their availability. But I thought in terms of a Summer League appearance from your star,
Yes.
from the biggest face of your franchise, from one of the stars of the league, it was perfect.
I picked up during the season, not like I picked up on it and nobody else did, but I noticed and thought it was worth noting that John, more than once throughout the season, when the subject of Jaren would come up, he would say he's our best player, or he's our leader, or he's the franchise. Maybe he didn't say all those things exactly, but he said a lot of
throughout
stuff.
the season, right.
I like it when co-stars are comfortable complimenting each other. I think that's important. You see it in Oklahoma City. Like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander grabs that MVP trophy and he wants to share it with Jalen Wells, and Jalen Wells accepts it and they hold it up.
Williams, but yes.
Jalen Williams.
Please don't trade our
There's
player.
too many Jalens. There's too many. Well, you might. Okay. Well, you might, if we're being honest. But to your point, yes, it's Jalen Williams. And I don't know if that kind of stuff will last forever.
And it's the Jalen with the EN.
Yeah,
not the
and don't even
yeah.
get. I don't know if that stuff will last forever. Like there was a moment,
Right.
and I sometimes use these analogies positively or otherwise, but like there was a moment where John Lennon and Paul McCartney were just happy being young and writing the biggest songs in the world together. But eventually, like that can break apart, whether it's John and Paul
the
or
Backstreet Boys came back together at the Sphere this weekend.
well, that's the thing. They often if time allows, people often do circle back.
Or if finances are necessary.
Or if finances are necessary, things can circle back around. But whether it's John and Paul or Shaq and Kobe, sometimes just being successful together isn't always enough to keep everybody happy. It is right now in Oklahoma City. We'll see where it goes from here. But there's stories throughout sports where it doesn't. Eventually, somebody's ego or personality gets in the way. My point is this: with John Jaren, there was a moment last year specifically where undeniably in years past, it's been Ja Morant. There was a moment last year where people started saying things like, well, Jaren Jackson's actually the one who's going to make All-NBA if he does it and stuff like that. And rather than get uncomfortable with that, Ja seemed very comfortable with it and even talked about Jaren positively. And then what we saw this weekend was just an extension of that. Happy for my brother. He deserved it. I even liked the little quib. I heard you say you sort of laughed at this too. Like, I thought it would be more money, but I don't understand the salary cap. It is funny, like some of us, we sit around and we talk about second aprons, and the people sometimes who it actually impacts the most
don't understand.
Don't understand it. And it's like.
And you even heard in I forget who it was, but one of the reporters goes, none of us really understand. And I was like, that's so real.
Right.
Like, we all look at these massive numbers and implications of
Right.
first and second apron, and we're all checking our notes every time we have to explain something with it.
Yeah, I just thought that he handled that all of it
very
well.
real.
I
Yeah.
like it. I like him complimenting Jaren, being happy from Jaren. It doesn't seem to come from an insincere place. I like the way he talked about, I felt like I needed to be here, as opposed to I wanted to be here. I needed to be here. I feel like it's my responsibility. Again, I'm paraphrasing, but that was the sentiment.
That's what I took away from it.
And I think that's a great sentiment to have.
Before I let you go, because you said you watched Wimbledon yesterday, I've been very into tennis lately, and a piece of it is this, I won't call it a budding rivalry. The rivalry is here between Sinner and Alcaraz. And
I mean, that's going to be the next big one that we do
Yes.
for the next decade plus.
I mean, Yannick Sinner is 23 years old, and Carlos Alcaraz is 22, and they've won the last 7 major titles, 8 of the last 9, 9 of the last 12.
Right.
Like, it is here, and every time they play, it has started to feel like appointment sporting television for people who, and this is the thing with sports like tennis or golf. Of course, they have their diehards.
But it mostly comes down to 4 majors.
And it is the people who ultimately swing the needle in interest. And you now have a situation where you're like, I don't know if the Joker's going to win another one. But I feel fairly confident I'm going to be watching Sinner and Alcaraz play each other for a long time.
Well, that's why the post-match interview, I don't know if you saw this, but and I feel like people were piling on the reporter a little bit. I think sometimes you've done that job, I've done that job. Sometimes the question just doesn't come out the way you intended it.
I will literally never pile on a reporter from that position for that reason.
But I did do the Twitter search just to see if other people were. Because she said her last question was to Alcaraz was, can we expect to see you back here? As opposed to, we look forward to seeing you back here, or are you looking forward to coming back here? She was like, can we expect to see you back here? And he was like, well, of course. This is Wimbledon, and I'm 22.
I'm 22 years old.
I'm like maybe the best in the world. I'm 22 years old. I assume I'll be back here. It just kind of got awkward because he sort of chuckled at the question as well. But beyond that little moment, like even their post-match interviews, both of them were really good. And we were just talking about, I like co-stars being able to compliment each other. Like this was that. These guys on some level could end up like not liking each other so much because they're pitted against each other. But in that moment yesterday, it was really sweet. They seemed to appreciate what they have. I won this one, you won the last one. We'll see where we go from here. But it's the real thing. Like I grew up with Chris Evert and Martina Navratilova, or Steffi Graf and Monica Seles, or Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras. And my boys, I don't even know if they know this, I don't want to overstate it, but my boys will grow up with Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. This is going to be theirs.
It's their gateway into tennis,
Yeah.
however that may
And
be.
I watched tennis a lot when I was young. I don't so much, I only watched the majors.
I go real in and out of
I only
it.
watched the
Yes, I only
Grand
watch the
Slams,
majors.
and I only watched the parts of the Grand Slams. But it is a sport that when I'm watching it, I enjoy it every time. Like I enjoyed that yesterday morning. The women's semifinal got out of hand, but the women's final got out of hand. The semifinals I enjoyed watching. When I watch Grand Slam tennis, I always have a good time watching it.
Yeah, ego with the women's final that took a blink.
57
We went to turn it
minutes.
on and it was
Over.
Yeah, GP, thanks for joining us as always. Coming up next, we'll talk a little bit about the first of another many potential rivalry matchup. It's not really a rivalry yet, but Paige Bueckers versus Caitlin Clark got their first game going up against each other in the WNBA over the weekend. We'll do some Hot Mess Express when we come back.
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at LiveNation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit Shinedown.com.
Have you talked to Norvell since the game?
Yeah, but we're close friends, so it's not one of those. Like, I think it's a little bit.
How
sensitive.
long before you said, ha 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 ha?
You sent him a text and said, you want to see the box score? You sent him the box score.
You want to see the picture of me in the locker room afterwards? My shirt off?
How close are you? Because it would have taken me literally 30 seconds.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
You get to the main event, and you hear the crowd. There's some rumblings in the crowd.
Here we go.
They say, "We want truth."
I love how John Cena said when they were chanting, "We want truth." You can't handle the truth.
There you go.
I loved it.
He takes me off, boom. Takes the mask off, boom. And it's our freaking truth. God, man, he cost John Cena the match.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
What can the Memphis Grizzlies learn from the Thunder Pacers NBA Finals series?
Your style of play is not something that you really have to change. Both of these teams love to play fast. Both these teams love to play really aggressively on the defensive side of the ball.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back. Yes, CJ, hand in the air.
Have you interacted at all with some of these AI things on AI accounts on the Instagram and Facebook? Because I have.
No.
I was just curious to see, okay,
You interacted with them?
where's the limit on what you can and cannot, what it will and will not say to you?
I don't
and
love
so,
that.
Yeah, it's like, so when you scroll through Instagram on your phone, you'll see like various threads that'll pop up like that. It goes horizontal, right? So your accounts that you're following is vertical, but then just, hey, you might also like, here's some accounts to follow, or here's some thread posts that you might like, or hey, we notice you aren't looking at reels. Here's some reels that might catch your attention. Hey, here's some AI accounts. You can holler at them. You can talk to them and see what's going on if you would like to.
I just find it so funny, the evolution from like when we used to have, you didn't have Instant Messenger, did you?
No.
Did you have AIM?
No.
On AIM, you could have like Austin Powers chats.
Okay.
And they would you'd be like, hi, Austin, like, how are you doing? I'm groovy, baby. And it'll have like a full conversation with you. Or there were other, I can't remember the, like the characterization of them, but you could have these conversations with a chat bot, essentially. But back then, it was so rudimentary. Like they had like 8 phrases that they could say back to you, and that was the extent of it. And now, I guess you're having full-blown talks.
So I was talking with a single mother.
Oh.
Yeah.
How is she? Is she doing okay?
There are some things she won't say because it violates the AI terms and
Code?
agreements.
Oh, the terms and agreements.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is a real wild
I'm trying to
thing.
find. I'm listening. I'm
All right,
trying
well,
to
while
find.
you try to find it, I was very excited to watch the first chapter of Caitlin Clark versus Paige Bueckers. That happened yesterday. Unfortunately, the game was relatively over after the first quarter. Fever won 102-83 in a blowout. Caitlin Clark had 14 points, 13 assists, 5 steals, and a block. And Paige Bueckers had 21 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. It was fun to watch these two. Their games are so different, and yet they both have such high-level potential for what their careers will ultimately look like in the WNBA. If you are trying to form the rivalry of the future, and rivalries have to have moments and big games and important games, and we have not had that yet, particularly between Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers, but God, are all the ingredients there for this to be something really special and really dramatic within the sport at some point in time. The Wings are just in a real bad place right now. Like, watching this game just reinforced. I think early on this season, we said outside of watching Paige Bueckers and getting to see her, you know, continue to grow in her fluidity in the W and more comfortable and being, you know, the point guard of their future, the Wings are not a fun team to watch play basketball. They're poorly coached. They're oddly constructed. They are atrocious in transition defense. Layup lines for the Fever over and over and over again. But ultimately, it was just fun to watch these two show out. Like Caitlin Clark hitting the big threes. At one point, I think they said Paige Bueckers from Caitlin Clark land. And I saw some people felt some kind of way about calling deep threes Caitlin Clark land. I have no problem with that. I get it. Deep threes have been taken in the sport of basketball far beyond Caitlin Clark, but that has become her signature. And right now, that is the now of the W, is Caitlin Clark taking wildly long threes. So if you want to say Paige Bueckers from Caitlin Clark land, it does not bother me. What bothers me is that Paige Bueckers just needs more around her. It was a really tough game for Arike. She came back from that injury. She's had I think it was a thumb injury for the last couple of weeks. Since late June, she's been out. She goes 0 of 10. She had 2 points in 28 minutes. But what I did like was Paige defended her after the game and during the game. Like, she was mic'd up during the game and got caught telling Arike to just keep shooting. After the game, she complimented how Arike responded to things, even if it wasn't her night shooting the ball. Paige Bueckers really stands out as a leader. That's something that you can't always be trained to be. It can just be a natural inclination in somebody. And from the time Paige Bueckers was coming out of high school into her career at UConn, through the injuries at UConn, through the championship run this year, now into her early WNBA career, she just leads. Like the way that she communicates with her teammates, the way that she communicates to the media, it feels like she is constantly inclusive and trying to build everyone up. And that's not to say anybody else isn't doing that. I'm just saying there is something very special with how Paige Bueckers presents herself and allows herself to be a true leader despite being a rookie on a very, very struggling Dallas Wings team.
We were going to make this the rivalry before the Bueckers injury, right?
Yes.
Like if in the way that I remember it, and listen, this is the way I interpreted it at the time when they are both in college together. They're both in the same class, right? I'm not mistaken. They were both freshmen at the same time, incoming freshmen. That's the way I remember it. And the way that I perceived the sports conversation as it was happening was Paige is better than Caitlin because Paige is more versatile than what Caitlin Clark is. But here it is. These are the two that are going to, So these are the two that are going to carry the sport going forward. And then Paige had that unfortunate knee injury. Caitlin Clark continues to ascend. We get that moment with Angel Reese, and now it is, okay, new rival, switch it up. It's Angel Reese now and Caitlin Clark. But this was always, not always, but this from freshman year of college was supposed to be the big rivalry. And it's going to be good to see it all play out. They're both in their first 2 years. One is a rookie, one's in their second year. It's going to be great to see once they get the pieces necessary around Paige Bueckers for that team to compete. It's going to be great to watch these two square off and face off in the years to come. The takeaway I had from that game was, holy hell, what are you supposed to do with Enrique now? She was over 10 in that game. She was coming back from an injury, sure, but over 10, and it doesn't. When I watched, for whatever it's worth, the Dallas Wings are what they are, and that's not very good right now. That's outright bad right now. But even still, when I watch, she doesn't look comfortable. It doesn't look like they know how to use her and Paige and some of the other pieces at the same time. And you just think back, 3, 4, 5 years ago, you had Satu Sabally on the team. You had Alicia Gray on the team. Who's the chick killing it for the Valkyries? Thornton. Had Thornton on the team as well. You had all these players who you look up now, and they're really, really talented, and they're doing really well for their respective WNBA teams. You had all of that on this team with Enrique, who was at the time one of the best perimeter scorers in the W, and you weren't able to do much of anything with that. And so now it becomes okay, institutionally, what the hell are the Dallas Wings? What are y'all doing? How are y'all messing that up? They're a bad
team.
Are they? It's worse than being a bad. It's worse than being a bad team. They might be a bad franchise, and that's a problem. And listen, we've seen star players go to bad franchises and lift them up. I think the Bulls, when Michael Jordan got there, were a bad franchise. The Cavs, when LeBron got there, was a bad franchise. So maybe Paige Bueckers can get there and do for the Wings what Caitlin Clark is doing for the Fever, who you don't get the #1 overall draft pick for nothing. They were a bad franchise before Caitlin Clark got there. There were some real moments of sheer ineptitude by the Fever management team. And now look at them now. Caitlin Clark's got this team. And the rest of them also. Mitchell had a great game last night. 2 nights ago against the Dream.
Mitchell had a great night.
Aaliyah Boston had, and Natasha Howard, I do believe both of them had big games against the Dream.
And Mitchell did too. And Sophie Cunningham has been more consistent.
So maybe that's what, but Paige is fighting uphill battle because there's something amiss with that franchise right now. I'm not quite sure what it is.
Outside of her and Ueru, I like Lee Ueru a lot.
That's the Asian American? Well, not American, but that's the Chinese woman. Yeah.
She's got something there. JJ Quinterly is okay, but you just got to put the ball in Paige Bueckers' hands and hope for the best. And that's not a good place for a franchise to be. Like, yes, you're excited about the future of what Paige can be, but this is not 1v5, and it never will be. And you saw a Fever team that went around and tried to make a roster that was more complementary to Caitlin Clark and the style of play. And we'll see for the Fever. They're 11-10 now. They have these 2 wins in a row. Perhaps this is a corner turner. And watching Caitlin Clark just continues to be a very fun experience. Like, I understand that the scoring has not been as lights out as we have become accustomed to when it comes to Caitlin Clark. 2 of 7 from 3 in yesterday's game. But those 13, some of those passes from her yesterday were just incredible. You forget sometimes just how good of a passer Caitlin Clark is.
Assists are a misleadingly individual stat. She can make those passes all the time. If the teammates aren't making the shots, then you don't get the assist. But to see her playmaking ability on display and seeing it show up in the box score, that was definitely encouraging. Yeah. But she's on a minutes restriction. She's dealing with the lower body injury. It's a couple of things, lower body, that's bothering her. They don't want to overexert her and then have her miss time again. And we talked about it last week, if I remember correctly. Her being in and out of the lineup makes it real hard for everybody to find their rhythm and their role with the team. So you want her out there as much as possible. Obviously, that means you want her as healthy as possible, which then means, hey, we're going to take things a little bit slower, bringing you back, and we're going to try not to have you out there quite as much. And that's why I was excited about the way that the Fever had built this roster. Why I think you were excited about the way they built the roster, because in our heads it was, oh, okay, there are pieces around now, so Caitlin doesn't have to handle the ball all the time. Caitlin isn't going to have to make all of the plays with this team. And that's why the Bonner decision to leave, I think it hurts so much, because I felt like DeWanna Bonner was somebody who could at least create a shot for herself, if for nobody else. And you could allow Caitlin to be on the court almost as sort of a decoy type situation. And when the defense is focused on her, you get somebody else to go off. So that'll be up to Aaliyah Boston and Mitchell and the rest of the Fever now to figure out a way to, when Caitlin's on the Clark, Caitlin is on the court, to find ways for her to get moments of rest where she's not overexerting herself every single possession down the court. It's okay for somebody else to bring up the court. It's okay, bring the ball up the court. It's okay for somebody else to facilitate the offense. It's okay for somebody else to get the ball screens or the down screens or the flare screens, back screens, however you want to do it. It's okay, but you've got to be a finisher. And I think that Aaliyah Boston has shown that she can, and Mitchell as well continues to show that she is really, really good. She's super left-handed. She's only going to finish with her left hand, but she can finish going downhill with that left hand.
All right, let's do quick Hot Mess Express, because time flies when you're having fun. Okay, this isn't Hot Mess Express, but Klay Thompson and Meg Thee Stallion are apparently dating, and that's wild. These pictures came out on social media over the weekend.
I hopped in it, and then I was busy living my life doing stuff. But she took a picture of her at the pool.
And he was in the background. And it sure looked like it was Klay Thompson in the background.
It was a fuzzy picture, but everybody was like, yo, that head shape, is that Klay Thompson? Why are they hanging out? And it was like, okay, she's dating Klay. That's the thing about having a unique face and head structure. We recognize you immediately. Yes. We know Klay Thompson when we see Klay Thompson.
What a move for him. Moves to Texas, starts dating Meg Thee Stallion.
Turn up.
Congratulations.
What a end of his career. He's going to retire. And one of the all-time great shooters, one of the all-time great two-way players, a champion 4 times over. He's going to retire into the arms of Megan Thee Stallion and be able to enjoy that for the rest of his life. My goodness, Klay. Kudos to you, sir. Kudos. That's remarkable.
Some real hot girl shit.
That's remarkable.
Last but not least.
City Boy is up. Let's go.
We found out there's going to be Uno-themed games and social clubs in Las Vegas and other casinos across the U.S. The first of its kind is coming to the Palms Casino Resort in Vegas, and it is a luxury suite, literally for Uno. They are trying to take casual game nights and turn them into entertainment events. When this first dropped, everyone thought you were going to start being able to play like Uno at the card tables. That is not correct. They will essentially be specific Uno game rooms, and there will be different versions of Uno you can play amongst friends, competitors, other people at the casino. But I liked it better when I thought that it was just people playing Uno at the cards tables in the middle of the casino floors. And I saw somebody say, imagine Michael Jordan in a high-stake game of Uno in Vegas, and you tell him to draw 4, and the look that would be in his eyes. I find that far funnier, and I wish that's the level of Uno that was going to be played. But instead, I think, we're getting one of those here. We talked about it on Friday, these game rooms. I have to wrap. CJ just gave me the wrap. First time back in the studio in a week. and I have to do the wrap. So everybody have a great rest of your Monday. See you later. Bye.